Hi everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. I just want to go over some better indicators that might be needed for analyzing forex trading. I think this can be said for any fast-moving asset like forex. First thing I want to show you on my latest on my blog is something called spread for dynamic bid and ask spread, and I'll show you how that works in a second, but there's a blog posting called Spread for Dynamic Bid-Ask Spread. Video is negative for forex trading. I'll show you an example of that in a minute. Okay, and I also previously put up Understand Bid-Ask Spread Pricing for Algo Forex Trading Success. So, I'm going to my JForex again. This is JForex for Duca's Copy Forex Trading. What you're looking at right now is the bid and ask, and basically here at the bottom, this is a tick data, British pound against the yen. Here you can clearly see at tick level what they call a rate of change. So I set up the indicator, and it's percent of change. So it's kind of the normalization is built in. So, as I said, I'm working off of the bid. Now, another thing that you need to understand is to understand the concept of betting, or if you're longing, you bet on the bid and then the sell on the ask. Critical stuff because the brokers don't want you to know this information. And as it says in one of my postings here, how that can open up as a negative on the position that you do open up. Here's the reason why. Here's your spread between the, in this case, pound against the yen. You can see the difference here, which I'm starting to learn, but you've got, in this case, roughly 70 pip difference. If we got here 156.200 and 156.120, and yeah, right there you can lose on the position once it's open up, and that's why you do get negative returns here. I think it's quite important to understand, to look at the behavior here at the tick level to show you how this works. So you can clearly, this is defined as a momentum indicator, and you can see how rapid your price will go up and down based upon what's going on in the price at the tick level. I have seen bars, which is on a minute, where you will get what they call block trades. Those can be from larger institutions. Put a large block order in, and then that will can instantly have your position be profitable or negative at that point in the bar, based upon that impact that it will have on your, let's say, averaging. If you're using the, let's say linear regression, or if you're using, my case, also the negative versus positive changes between each period. But you can see how random it is. It's I would say, unless you get a sudden streak of green here, that may mean it is going up, but it's not going up in the direction at the levels that you want. But here you can clearly see the direction of the rate of change is quite fast at a tick level. If you're to watch this on a minute basis, it can move even faster. So in this case here, right here was the actual drop in price, and then this rate of change indicator is somewhat lagging behind that. So this is a challenge for this indicator, but I want to show you some other indicators that we could use as well, because we want to make sure we don't have these lags. When we have a price drop, 2 ticks later we get that change updated. We want it as real time as possible. So let's take a look at some other indicators, see what we can use. So again, This is J4X. I'm not sure if your platform has the ability to show you these or this kind of classification. Here you see we have a variety of indicators that we have at our disposal to understand the rate of change. So this is the rate of change of between the pricing of the previous price. So let me delete that because I'm using rate of change a percent, price minus the price change minus the previous price. Now I don't think it'll make much difference between any of these because it's still lagging. Once again here, even though it's a small move right here, you can see that it is in real time, but if it's a sudden drop like this, which you see a lot of the times, that could be maybe a smaller block trade, or this big dip here. This one's not so bad, but it's these little guys, these sudden drops that will screw you. So if you look at by minute to smooth it out, you can see here just the price differences on these, and this is using a bar. So let me just see, or sorry, a candle. If I was to use an actual line, you can see somewhat the rate of change. This might be better actually to use minute rate of change. Here we are getting the up, and not sure if we can catch the rate of change here as fast. So we can use both the magnitude and the number of negative movements between each minute. So next question is, can we use a 5 minute? Because a lot of people like the 5 minute. But again, you can see that the opportunities really slow down once you start to go into a 5 minute chart. And this is a fairly fast moving instrument, pound against the yen. So it comes back to the minute chart, maybe decent enough to work from. So let's check out our indicators and see what else we can have for momentum. Because I just wanted to discuss this with people. The volatility is another one. Pattern recognition, I have no idea. There's a lot of these patterns, indicators. But I'm more interested in the momentum ones. So again, I wouldn't be surprised that we will have the same problem as what I'm showing. But there was an interesting one that came out a while back. So 1 day rate of change, that will be too slow. We have Williams R. So let's give that a whirl. Time period 14. I can easily shorten that. But again, let's see how it compares against the rate of change. So we have uptrend green, downtrend red, style. I do like this type of style with opaque, all that. And let's add it. Let's see what happens here. Where did my indicator go? So that's the rate of change. Somewhere in there is a William R. So I have no idea how that came about. Or is this the William R? We have the rate of change. Okay, let's see how it works. So the William R. Let me just remove this. Remove. Oh, I see. Okay. So see here, this rate of change isn't quite good because we have a trend. It's clearly up, but you can see here it's mixed with red and green, which it shouldn't be. So that's to me, that's not a very reliable indicator. So, but let's try this Williams R. Recent indicators, William R. Now, the reason I'm using William R is because Matlab uses it in its technical analysis toolbox, so that's why that might be a better one instead of using something that's not as mainstream, we'll call it. That would be part of the Matlab toolbox. So that tells you that if Williams R is one of them, clearly that is an acceptable indicator for these type of things. So let's use the indicator. Okay, so this looks good actually. 1 minute, Williams R shows a clear trend up, does flatline a bit, so it's red, which is exactly true. So if I use the 5 minute, is that good enough? See, the flat line, when it's choppy and just flatlining, going on, that makes these trading conditions very difficult to determine. Same in here. If I did a 5 minute, 15 minute, again, there's really no factor. But funny thing is, the minute seems to be a little more accurate. Let's say, okay, so I'm pretty happy about that. So let's go over to the Matlab and see what we can, see what kind of indicators they have as a mainstream acceptable indicator from their point of view. Okay. All right, so using Matlab, you can see here, this is what we got. Momentum stochastic, chalk-in for the oscillator. Williams R, that's the one that we're using right now. We can set these different stochastics. This one's the one I'd like to use, the positive and volume and positive volume and negative. Here's some other ones. So weighted average price, on balance, median price, Bollinger Band. Now I don't know if you may have seen one of my videos on Bollinger. The programming involved to make calls out of that can get very complicated. So really the only ones that I see are stochastic, chalk-in, and accumulation distribution oscillator. So let's see first if there's an accumulator. Williams R, it doesn't look too bad. Okay, so let's see if we can find some kind of accum, accelerator, deaccelerator, oscillator, median price, output. So that might be an interesting one to add. Okay. I will say that the Williams R is much better than the rate of change. I'm going to get rid of this, all of them actually. Let's get rid of these guys. Okay, so let's add in that other one. So what we want is, accumulator. Oops. So we want this one. I'm going to use the default. Okay, let's see how it looks. So it's a 1 minute. I'd accept that. Looks a little more accurate. There is a slight here. You can see with that trend, it's lagging from, as far as I'm concerned. You see it going up from this point to this point. It's showing a red. These two bars here The latency I don't like. Let's see what we have here in the tick level. See here, it's down, so my P&L will show that real time, but meanwhile the indicators are too slow to catch up. So this accumulator is no good. But the Williams R I do like. So that may be very useful. Okay, so we have here chalk-in oscillators. So let's see what we have there. Chalk-in. I thought I saw chalk-in before. Well, we can verify that with our search on Google. Alright, so what we're going to search for, if you ever are looking for anything Dukas copy related, what you can do is you can easily do one of two things. Well, this is the best way. Java API and the Java docs for the API, and then in that case you're using the indicators. So because it's an interface, you have to go I indicator, and here we are. So we now have the available indicators. So I don't see, have I got this spelt correctly? Yeah. Oh, it's CHA. CHA. Does it exist? No, I don't see it. So I'll do this again. What do we have here? C Chandler. No. Okay. So moving on, we can then look at these stochastics. These ones we looked at, I'm not too happy, but maybe the stochastics may be good. Okay, so let's add this one. What kind of stochastics we have? So we have a stochastics momentum index, fast, and relative strength. Why don't we try all of them? Okay, so we don't have a indicator. Let's try the momentum. Just use the default. Need to make sure that because I'm using minute or tick, it should not matter on these parameters, I hope. So we have here signal, up and down, levels, advanced. Okay, on the output, I like to put, let's do this. Okay, we have a dark line with a dark red. Then here we will do a light green and a orange. Yeah, we'll accept that. Add it. Let's see what happens. Oh, I'm going to edit that and just change the style to this guy. So let's see how we're doing here. So that's a tick. Let's see how we're doing on the 1 minute. Get it up to date. Yeah, I'm not sure. See, it's lagging up to this point. That's fine. Drops off here into here, but here, even though it's going up, it's a lagging indicator. See how it's with the tick. See, again, it does not reflect the true indicator here. There is trends, but when it comes right down to the lower level, this kind of bump does not get reflected in the indicator. It's not too bad. Price goes up, at least on the bid. Might be getting these confused in the bid and ask. But you can see here, even though the price is not going up, that the signal gets stronger. So there you go. There was a jump, 91. See, it stays at 91. But yeah, it's late. There's latency in this indicator. Not a big fan. Okay, so let's get rid of this guy. Okay, let's do it again. This time we'll use the indicator of stochastic. So we got this. So let's do a stochastic fast. Now again, the parameters may be wrong in doing this. I just want to see just roughly which one overall is better with less tweaking. Just changing around the colors. Oh, no, didn't like that. Okay, so we want dark green, red for the downtrend, light green for the trend up. Okay. Now I can interpret better the other style that I prefer. I don't know the name of it, to be honest. Let's see how this looks. Actually, that looks not too bad. Ooh, it may. See, this is a number I gotta work with. See how it behaves on the 1 minute. It's not too bad. Let's go back to the tick, or maybe 10 seconds. See how that looks. Let's see how it is with a tick. Actually, that looks okay. That's a little more in real time. So this one, okay, so we are dealing with stochastic RSI. Make a note of that. That's not bad, actually. I can work with that. Okay, so let's get rid of this indicator. That's a definite contender. Next one that I want to use is stochastic. Okay, let me just try adding another indicator. So we did that. stochastic fast. Okay, let's just change these line indicators here for the trend. Okay, let's give it a whirl. No, I don't like that because it's still showing an uptrend, even though I don't know if I like that one. No, it's too slow. Let's try it on the minute. See here to here. This may work on the minute chart. So it's going up. This is a little more. Actually, this is not too bad. So this is the stochastic fast. Okay, some other ones that people have been asking me as indicators, which is really good to try out, is one of them was fractal. Now I don't know how this works, but I'm just going on the based on the visual. And then just change red to green. Looks like there's no style that you apply. Okay, add, and let's see what happens. So what's this saying? Output minimum time. Oh, I see. Yeah, if I remember, there's fractal 12. So it looks like we have to measure every 12 factors. It seems to be somewhat working at bottoming. This is an interesting one. You get a trend up, it turns, it can measure the fractal at that point, and quite literally measure the bottoming process. That's on a minute chart. This could be used sort of like, that's a very interesting one. And that's using default of 12. So number of 12 is 12 bars. Okay, I don't know if you can do this on ticks. Wow. It seems to have accurately calculated a lot of the percentage of times on the lower break. See how it calculates. I want to see this thing in action. Now, what point does it draw that fractal? See, with this fractal, if it's already price moving up, then it defines it. Let's see. So that's what it sets as the lower price at 156. Whoa. Interesting, but it's too slow. I think this would totally throw off. It does measure it correctly, but it has to let a certain number of. It's just, I think it's too slow. Definitely at a tick level. So we have here, and our fractal's not been generated yet. Interesting. Okay. This could have had some potential, but I'm going to remove that. Okay. So let me move on to a different chart. Close that. I will do. Oh, I'll just leave it at that. Okay. No indicators existing. Let me just try one more that's been coming up. Is Kelman. I don't think. No, so we can't do that. But I will say, let me just see if I've got all the Matlab ones covered. Volume, rate of change. Bollinger we tried. That's too much. RSI I think's latent. There's latency. But let me try one more. The volume, rate of change. I won't be surprised that's too late. There's too much latency there. Volume. There's a VWAP. That's it. Okay, so the conclusion I'm taking away for the best indicator that I'm looking for are pretty well the Williams in some form of stochastic. Let me know what you think. Over and out.